Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So, for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with tier one?
So, tier one is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want, ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Welcome back to the Paranoid Perspective. I'm Jake.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, today we're going to get into where the lizard people go for summertime. You know, their summertime retreats. No, I mean, not really. Listeners, we're talking about Bohemian Grove, okay? There is a lot of fucking craziness that is associated with this. And spoiler alert, I feel like it's just people being dumb. I'm not saying that it's all just cool little camp club for, rich guys to go to. There is some weirdness. But I mean, people need to calm the fuck down. That's all I'm saying. This is. Are you familiar
Yeah,
with
it's really
Bohemian
like
Grove?
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was kind of like a summer camp for rich people, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Not a camp, but a retreat, I guess.
It's a retreat where you go and you get the adrenochrome from babies that you
Yeah,
sacrifice because that's what the political elite do. Sarah, don't you know this?
right. Young blood. That's
Yeah,
us.
man. But in all seriousness, don't get me wrong. There's some crazy shit. So I'm not giving too much away right at the front. But like, can we just talk about how we need to like everybody just needs to take a step back and maybe not be so quick to open your mouth and just listen and find out stuff before you actually say some off the wall shit. I know it's not going to happen. This is going to fall on deaf ears. This is my soapbox for our intro of this.
I
So
think that would help a lot
I think it would
for the
help a
current.
lot of everything. Just
Right.
everybody shut the fuck up and listen for a second. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, like I said, we're going to get into Bohemian Grove, and this is tucked away in the redwoods of Northern California. It's very mysterious, actually, and there is a lot of weirdness, like I said, to it. Bohemian Grove is like an all male encampment retreat thing, whatever you want to talk about, and everyone associated with it is very powerful, very well connected, and they all gather annually. It's all locked up. The camp
Is it still
performs.
going on?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I thought it
So
was like gone.
no, it's still there,
Okay.
but it's all behind like locked gates. Like there's so much security year round. Security is there year round. Not just, I'm telling you.
Mm,
So
yeah, that's weird.
that, like I said, we're not getting. Like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it for everybody. There is some weird shit going on there. So most people will say it's like, oh yeah, it's just for a place to network. It's just for a place for people to let their hair down, and banter between other rich, influential people. But a lot of people say it has some very, very dark implications to it. So,
Mm. Did it start as Freemasonry or no? Is that something else?
no, it, it's kind of weird. You know how cults go, right? It always starts off with like good intentions, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, like one guy's like having sex with everybody and telling him he's Jesus. This is kind of how this is going to go, So,
Oh,
I mean, not really, but you know, it's kind of the same thing.
they just want to have their orgies.
Yeah,
Keep
that's
it a
all it is.
secret.
Just fucking weirdos, going on the woods, and I don't know. I have some theories about what I think it might be, but we'll get to that at the end. But
Mhm.
let's kind of get to the genesis of this. So this really started in San Francisco. It was called the Bohemian Club. It was founded in 1872. Now, this club was a bunch of journalists, writers, actors, handful of, more not so on the creative side like lawyers and bankers and stuff. The club set out to be a haven for the quote unquote bohemians, the cultural type, the artistics, the creatives, that sort of thing. However, this changed very quickly. According to a lot of sociological studies, the club decided early on that talent without money could not support us.
I guess, yeah. I guess, I guess that's, yeah. That's what.
So membership started to include very financially powerful men, like very
Mm,
financially powerful. 1878, it held a get together in the redwoods near Marin County. And by the 1880s, the club had begun using what has become called the Bohemian Grove in Sonoma County. They reached a couple milestones pretty early on. The club rented land in the 1890s and bought the property, eventually expanding it out to 2,700 acres. So this is a massive
yeah. Yeah.
piece of property.
Okay.
And by the early 20th century, the club was firmly established as an elite man's retreat. So within what, 30 years, it had all of this property, and it wasn't for the cultural artsy types, it was for fucking dudes with money and a lot of
Right.
power and influence.
Yeah. That's kind of scary how fast it would change like that.
Yeah. So, and granted, I mean, it's an artsy club that turns into a treats for elites. That's not like that big of a deal, right? Like those, you got to think like those guys. I kind of think about it as like celebrities. Like celebrities can't hang out with normal people. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's true.
And it's probably the same sort of idea with some of these people. They're just not the same types of people. So having a place where you could go away, kind of be yourself, and not have to be like in a public eye or have people, you know, waiting on every word for you. You could just go and do that. Now, I'm kind of being devil's advocate here and saying that that's what I would maybe think of it at first if it's really not that bad, right? But the surface hides very many interesting details. It's exclusively men. It's extremely secret. And there are rituals and there is power interplay, meaning like wheeling and dealing that
Yeah.
happens here. So, from the Bohemian Club early on is understood that the Bohemian label could attract artists, but I think that's just a name that kind of stuck. It's not like, you know what I mean? I think it's just something that they were just like, oh, yeah, it's a good name, whatever, who gives a shit? We're not letting any of those stinky hippies in here anyway. So,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they took over the name, yeah.
and it's just a fun camp for, super powerful people. The evolution reveals that the word bohemian here is very misleading. It signals like it's not just like a culture, but it's also like a privilege because you're not allowed to just become a member there. It's only by invitation.
Yeah.
So
So
you
it's like,
gotta,
yeah, ultra elite.
yeah. So you gotta know a guy that knows a guy to even,
Right.
you know, get in the doors. So, but if we were to take a look at like let's talk about like kind of maybe what allegedly happens here every year. So if we go inside the camp, it looks like a super very lush, beautiful place. I've got some pictures of supposedly one of the walkways. I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but we're going to kind of take a look at it and I can kind of show you. It looks absolutely stunning. Do my Sarah. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Make sure it's the
And
right screen.
there you go. So look at that. I mean, that looks fucking beautiful. Redwood
Yeah,
trees,
that
like,
does.
man, like it looks like a freaking awesome place. I would love to take a walk, you know?
Yeah. It kind of, I mean, it looks like a public park, kind of.
Sure. Yeah, it's very, very nice. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like anything crazy. It looked like you said, it looked like maybe Pacific Northwest because you are in Northern California. It's starting to get into that like tree line area where you're getting kind of almost that like rainforest esque sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But at best, as open sources, they will not like really allow a whole lot of pictures. A lot of the pictures that are supposedly of this place are either fake or they're like artist renditions or they're something like that. But because of the secrecy, we don't really have full access to it. But there are some credible accounts that exist. And we'll get into some of those here in a little bit later. And maybe some not so credible accounts by some not so credible people, but such as the conspiracy game. So
Right.
like I said earlier, it's 2,700 acres of redwood forest near Monte Rio, California. Membership is once again strictly male, guest invitation only, and heavily, heavily guarded. There is a giant owl statue or an owl shrine that was built
Hmm.
in the late 1920s and serves as a backdrop for the famous Cremation of Care ceremony.
Yeah. What's that? Cremation of Care?
I don't know, but that doesn't, you know, strike me as here. We'll do another little supposed picture for you, Sarah. If you saw this and you were in the fucking woods, I want you to tell me what you would fucking think.
My God. I would think that's like a demon or something.
I'm getting the
I
fuck
mean,
out of there.
I assume it's like rock or is it wood? I don't know. That's big.
It's fucking big. There are people around this area, listeners. Here, I'll share my screen again. That way we have some context for what we're actually talking about. And it's not just me looking at this. But yeah, you can see some people standing around there, supposedly, right?
Right.
Now, let's just
Yeah.
assume that those people are maybe, I don't know, average height between 5'8" and 6 feet. You know, that thing it has to be at least 4 or 5 people high, at least,
Yeah.
you know, and that dude's standing on rocks right there, and he's not even halfway up the thing. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What is there like a god, an owl god that it's like maybe looks like or something?
well,
Maybe it's
supposedly it is a representation of Moloch, who
Moloch.
was oh, I'd have to look him up. Essentially, he was what you sacrifice children to back in way back, way back, way back. He had like his hands like outstretched like this, and they would heat up his hands, and then they would put the babies on his hands. So they were, yeah, cooked alive.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So supposedly, that's what people are going with. I didn't mean to get super dark there. Here is another good. Let me see if I can get another good one. Supposedly, this is supposedly of them doing the fire itself for the cremation of care. And whenever they talk about this thing, they usually say something like, "No, this is definitely an artist rendition. Viewers beware, this might be bullshit." Which I don't know.
Yeah. You never
So,
know. That's the cremation of care thing?
yep, yep. Now, supposedly, they have what they call, I can't remember what it is, but what they're doing when they do that cremation of care thing is supposedly it's just a bundle of sticks to represent like a quote unquote human looking sacrifice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get
Why does
into
it
that.
need to look human?
We'll get into that
Okay.
here in just a little bit. But that is what the cremation of care is at surface level. It's not, I don't know.
Okay.
But it
Does that mean they're like putting to ash their emotion of care? Like what?
or
Like
they're
they're incinerating it?
sacrificing children to an owl god.
Yeah.
What seems more likely, Sarah?
They both seem like just
I don't think both of them seem likely. I think they're just a bunch of weird old dudes that have too much money. They're like, hey, let's dress up in some fucking robes and act like we're doing shit. That's what I
right.
think. But I could be wrong. Um, but the cremation of care is a torchlit ceremony, complete with an effigy burning. That's what I was kind of talking about. Held at the beginning
Right.
of the encampment. So at the very start of the retreat, that's how you started off. So imagine getting invited to this motherfucker. You kind of have an idea of what's going on, but you're not really sure. And next thing you know, you see a bunch of old dudes in robes bringing an effigy of a bundle of sticks that happens to look like a person, and they throw this motherfucker on a altar and they light it on fire. And there's a giant owl just staring down
And
at
I'm
you.
sure there's like chanting or something too.
Percent.
Yeah.
100%.
And you just gotta stand there like,
Well,
I know the words to this.
yep. Nobody gave me a brochure. I don't know what to say. So some say that it's just innocent theatrics. Others say it's symbolism of like power and secrecy. And it could be more, it could be less. I'm just telling you what I can find on what the actual cremation of care is. So do with that information what you will. We'll talk about some other stuff here a little later, but I don't know. Surface level, I think it's just a bunch of dudes fucking being old and weird.
Yeah, maybe they're bored. That's their man retreats from their
Yeah.
wives and
Yeah,
stuff.
100%. Oh, speaking of man retreat, there is a good picture from back in the day. This like actually doesn't look like too horrible at all. Like this looks like a really good time actually. I don't know when this picture was taken, and this is supposedly at Bohemian Grove.
Okay.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
this seems fun. Look at that
Yeah,
guy just laying on the ground
yeah.
doing the
Just
Lionel
having
Rich.
yeah, just having a good old time. The Lionel Richie.
Well, kind of.
Yeah,
It's got to do with that.
a little bit. When I first saw this, I like zoomed in on this dude's face because I swear to God, I thought it was Teddy Roosevelt for a second, but I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it's not. But I truly thought that's who it was. But no, I mean, that looks like a guy's camping trip. They got some liquor
yeah.
on the table. They've got their outside, suits on so that way they can lay on the ground and stuff. But no, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it looks like just a good time for these
Yeah.
rich guys to go and lounge about and get their Lionel Richie on, as you so eloquently
Right.
put.
Well,
So
that seems like a good time. They probably invited too many people and then it changed a lot. Well, like you
maybe.
said, the rich finance people had to ruin it.
I know. Yeah. But there are other elements of this retreat. There's lectures, there's theatrical productions, there's musical performance, heavy socializing, informal networking. The club's roots in art is still present there. So you're not just going there and it's
Okay.
just a bunch of old dudes lounging around. Personally, what I think it is for is more of probably that last little part or the last half of it, like heavy socializing and informal networking. That's
Right.
in all honesty, you have zero way of being traced there even to this day. Probably I guarantee you no one's allowed to have a fucking cell phone, computer, any sort of hardline communicate. Like, you know what I mean? So you can go and make these like quasi like backdoor deals there, no worries, and no
Right.
one's gonna talk. Or if somebody does talk, you could be like, prove it. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm thinking that is definitely more. But let's talk about membership and guest lists now. Members and guests have included U.S. presidents, corporate executive, media figures, famous artists. The club's website, yes, there is a website, says there are roughly 2,600 active members with a sizable waiting list, allegedly. Now
That's a
that,
lot of people.
yeah. Now that being said, their website is not active very often, but it is updated occasionally. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it has been a minute since it was updated. So I don't know. Take that for what you will.
Weird. They even have a website at all.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe Bohemian Grove Rich douches.com or so. I don't fucking know.
Oh, it's a dot.
I highly doubt it's a .org, but
Well, I
I could be
found
wrong.
something that said bohemianclub.org. Maybe that's something different.
Sarah, when you ask questions you don't want to know the answer to, you might be jumping
It
into one
has
of
an
those.
owl logo.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is
I
it.
told you.
You have to log in. Weeping spiders come not here.
Wild.
Well, you have to log in to see anything. It's just a white screen with a login.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
See what I'm saying? Like, I don't think fucking child sacrifices are happening, but there is some wild shit happening there. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So,
They have an employment portal if you are employed there.
well, they do have security around.
Yeah.
They probably
Well,
have.
they gotta have like caterers or chefs, right?
I was going to say they have to have people that are attending to the guests every year. They have to
Yeah.
have people that maintain the grounds. Like, yes, it's like
Yeah.
actively people work there. So,
Wow. Do you think we could get in for a summer
well,
job?
I was gonna wait till a little bit later, but supposedly
Oh, okay,
Alex
sorry.
Jones did make it in.
Oh, wow. As a
Supposedly.
worker,
No,
or
as
he
a
was
guest.
invited? Okay. Okay.
Supposedly. Now,
Yeah.
say what you will about Alex Jones, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, he's entertaining to watch because he yells and screams. What got it for me was the whole Sandy Hook thing when he, said that it was a whole fucking front, whatever bullshit. And after that, I kind of stopped paying attention to him. I did happen to find a few things, but after that thing happened with Alex Jones, it's been real hard to find anything about him without going to like,
Mm,
there's probably a few networks that he's on, but I'm not going to waste my time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
don't care. But supposedly he got in. Supposedly he saw the burning effigy. There was chanting. There was like a ritualistic sort of thing happening. And he did say that it looked human shaped, but he couldn't tell what it was, what the effigy actually was. So it
Right.
could have just been a bundle of sticks, or it could have been a human being. Who knows? Anywhere in between, actually.
That's
So,
dark too. Yeah, you can't.
yeah.
Wow.
So, but even if nothing nefarious is happening here, the very existence of such a place, think about it. You've got elite men removed from like any public oversight, engaging in informal connecting. I mean, that's pretty fucking significant just in itself.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They can do anything they want there. Like,
Right.
they don't have to follow any laws for
Nope.
mergers or whatever or anything. Yeah.
No. So now, since we've arrived at like kind of the periphery of what is happening here, right? Supposedly, allegedly. Does this actually serve as like a vehicle of power or coordination among these elites? I don't personally think it's like I don't think it's like a I don't think it's as crazy as everybody wants it to be. Usually it's not that. I don't know. But according to like sociologists, there was a book called Who Rules America. I believe it was written, here he is, G. William Adamoff. The Grove supports cohesion among upper class elites. So they kind of want everybody to play nice, which I've always said that. Like if you watch politicians or you watch these people that go at it, like on political stages, they're all probably high fiving in the back, like, oh man, I
Yeah.
can't believe you said that about me. That was pretty messed up, man. Like I would never do that. You know what I mean? They're that
Right.
sort of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
There are some historical accounts that claim key discussions and networks formed at the Grove. For example, an Italian source claimed that in 1942 participants involved in the Manhattan Project there.
Oh, well. Yeah.
So presidents that have been members have been Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan,
Mm,
which man, there is a I wish I had it saved somewhere. I can't, and I'm not going to repeat what he said, but there was a hilarious video of Ronald Reagan being asked about, or not Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon being asked about Bohemian Grove.
really?
Yeah, and he is like really pissed off about it because he called it some of the most insert homosexual slur shit going on there. It's not even funny.
That's kind of what I called, I guess, though. They're having their orgies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Like that statement from him, like gave a lot of fire to like dudes are going there and
Yeah.
blackmailing other people.
Mm,
They're putting them in weird situations with a fucking burning effigy, and then all of a sudden everybody gets naked, and they're like, "Dude, take your fucking clothes off, or you're not allowed to come back here." And you're like, "Shit."
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, they're making you do things that you weren't planning there to come with, and
Right.
now they hold that over your head. So I don't know. But it is a hilarious clip. I'll send it to you, and I'll have it. We can link it down below because it's kind of hard to
Okay.
make out, but it is quite hilarious. So, but most analysts argue that the Grove isn't where decisions itself are made. In that book, Who Rules America, major policy happens elsewhere. The Grove is more like a symbolic, like place. You know what I mean? It's more of a get together. Like they do fucked up
Right.
shit in the White House. They do fucked up shit on the halls of Congress. They don't need to go to some secret place out in the fucking woods to do some fucked up shit. So I don't know. I think that's why it's like overzealous with Bohemian Grove when I hear people like talk about all the conspiracies. It's like, this is where they're running the world from. It's like, well, no, they could really run the world from fucking anywhere.
Yeah. Maybe not back when it started,
Maybe, sure.
but now for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's not. But the culture there is more, I feel like, geopolitical. Like we're trying to interconnect with not just people here in the United States, but like with like everybody that we could get in to kind of be behind closed doors more than anything. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with as far as like when I was talking about like what they do. I obviously I don't have a day-to-day itinerary of what happens
Right.
at the retreat, but that's kind of what I got from all the research that I was doing on that as far as what the point of it is now, especially.
Yeah.
So,
Is it like a long weekend or like a week or how long?
I
Or
don't
you can't
know.
really,
I don't
yeah.
know. It more than likely, I would think it would probably be, if I were to guess, probably a weekend, maybe a long weekend, because you gotta think the people that are there are pretty important
Yeah.
people. They can't afford to
Right.
be there for a month, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm just on my summer retreat
yeah,
for a month.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's probably more like a weekend or like a 3-day, 4-day
Yeah.
weekend, something like that. I that would make sense to me. But who am I to know? You know, maybe this podcast will take off, Sarah, and we'll be among some of the, well, you won't be able to go because it's men only. So
Right.
I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
I can't even
You,
work there.
you
Let me
know,
pretend to be a man so I can get there. That's ridiculous.
well, sucks to
I'm going to
suck.
start an all women's one,
You should.
only women allowed,
Yeah,
and
you
then they'll
should.
kill us.
Well, if you think for a second that there's not one that exists in that capacity
Yeah.
already, I'm sure we could find one. I'm sure we could find
Yeah.
multiple.
I want to get invited to that.
Yeah. There you go. Listeners of podcast, this is our main goal. Sorry we've been hiding it from you since February when we started. The main goal is to be so powerful with this podcast platform that Sarah gets to join her version of Bohemian Grove and I get an actual invite to Bohemian Grove. And we won't tell you shit about it. We're going to be like, "Nah, man, it was just a good time. Drank some drank
Yeah, it
some
was
beer,
fine.
laid in the leaves, you know? It's a great time, you know?"
I'm not going to lay in the leaves.
I'm laying in the fucking
I don't
leaves.
want to get bugs on me.
No. It's part of the rituals. But now let's get into like more of the wild side. Let's get into conspiracies, the rumors, the myths, because
Okay.
any place that's that secretive has to have like holes that are filled with imagination of crazy people. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, since you don't know anything about it, you can say anything's happening there.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to start one right now. They actually just go around and frolic in the leaves after they drink all day. That is the only thing they do there. That's it.
That'd be fun.
I know.
That'd be fun.
You know, the big redwood leaves and you're just, you know, running through the woods. And one caveat to that, you do have to be naked. So,
Right. Of course.
you know,
You need to feel one with the nature.
yeah, one with the nature.
Yeah. No clothing
Uh,
allowed.
yeah. But some claim that the cremation of care is a ritual occult inspired, possibly even satanic
Mm.
event that happens. Alec Jones infiltrated the grove in 2000, supposedly filmed the ceremony, calling it a ritual sacrifice. I was not able to find alleged video.
Yeah, that would be crazy if he was allowed to videotape and like leave with them. I feel like they would know.
Well, it is somewhere because I have seen it before.
Okay.
I just couldn't find it anywhere. Now, I will be honest. I don't know. It's from what I can remember of seeing it, like you don't really know what you're looking at anyway. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's one of those where I didn't really give a shit. I'm gonna be real with you. Like if you want to, you show me a shaky fucking footage of a campfire, I could go out in my backyard right now and make that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's true.
So
Especially in 2000, there's not good quality
yeah,
film.
the conspiracy videos assert that the Grove is where the quote unquote New World Order, we all love that little
Mhm.
phrase, is planned and plotted. The Grove has been accused of logging old growth redwoods under cover of fire prevention as well. So we have logging controversies as well. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
so here's the thing. That right there, you know how much people pay for those old growth redwoods?
A
Insane
lot.
amount of money. Insane
Yeah.
amount of money. That right there is way more plausible to me that people
Right.
go there and resource some money for that and do some illegal shit with against like different logging, you know, company guidelines or whatever you want to call them, and then they, you know, kind of interact and hang out and drink. That makes much more sense. But I'm just a lowly podcast host. So
Right. Yeah.
now, supposedly, these rituals are theatrical, like the cremation of care. They're not a cult. The way that it's been described is the Grove is a playground for the powerful rather than a puppet master for global affairs. See, but here's the thing. If you have to say it, I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah. If you say we're not a cult, that's the first thing they'll say.
We would never have a giant owl that we worship
Right.
and put babies in it, okay? What we don't do that. Why would you think we would do that? Maybe because of all the fucking pictures, supposedly, of this owl and burning effigies. But many of these stories rely on this quote unquote infiltration footage, whistleblowers who claim they can't fully collaborate. This is where I have a fucking problem with that shit, Sarah, because I hate when someone's like, I got all the answers. I can't tell you about it though. Bitch, you don't
Yeah.
have shit. Don't tell
Right.
me that.
They just want to be relevant.
Yeah, that's it. It's like that, what was that fucking dipshit, that went in front of Congress? David Grush, whatever, when he was talking about UFO disclosure, and he was all
Yeah.
like, "Yes, I have evidence of biologicals. Where's it at? I can't disclose that. Where are they from? Can't disclose that." Every other questions after that, can't disclose that. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. What are we
Right.
even doing here?
Yeah.
But anyway, so there is a risk, though, I think, when a situation like this happens. Secrecy meets very powerful people, a lot of conspiracy is going to flourish, like you were saying earlier.
Right. Yeah.
And it's super hard. We can't distinguish fact from myth at all with this, like even a little bit. So it's one of those things. The owl thing, I think, is definitely real because the pictures that I've seen definitely look like actual pictures of it. Now,
Yeah.
what they're doing with that, I,
It's just their mascot.
yeah. Well, they do see, and they do have an owl on the website on the login page. So
Yes,
definitely it
they
has
do.
it is definitely something with that for sure.
Right. Well,
Now,
knowledge, I guess. Owls are wisdom. They're
yeah,
just a book club.
it's just an all men book club. That seems highly unlikely, Sarah. I could be wrong, but that seems highly unlikely.
Well, they just share their best like finance books and stuff. Their
That
business
sounds
books.
boring as shit. I rescind my wanting to be a part of Bohemian Grove. Like, this is bullshit. I want to get naked and run through the woods. What the fuck are we doing reading about freaking Dave Ramsey and, you know, whatever the fuck you guys do? That's probably not even something elite rich would read, but you
No,
know what I
probably
mean?
not.
Yeah. So, but the real question is just, should we even care about this? Should we seriously even care about what people do? The secrecy versus transparency, a retreat for elites from public oversight signals a gap in accountability. Does it though? Because they have gaps in accountability right out in front of our fucking face.
Yeah, right. No one really holds them accountable in public. So what
Exactly.
does it
So
matter
what difference does it
what
make?
they're doing?
Yeah.
Right.
What difference
Well,
does it make?
plus everyone does deserve some privacy too.
100%. I could not imagine. I could not imagine not being able to walk out of my house or go to a store
Right.
because I am going to be bombarded. Especially if you're in any sort of political realm,
Yeah.
you're going to be hated by half the people you meet. I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, there's crazy people out there too that come after you,
yeah,
like
100%.
no matter who you are. Yeah.
So, but supposedly the Grove fosters relationships among people who matter, quote unquote, politically and economically. That always made me kind of
I
laugh when
thought you were
I saw that.
I thought you were just gonna stop at who matter.
No,
People who matter.
no,
It's like, what?
no. Well, and see, this is where I think part of what they do there, it's like you can't get there unless you know people that know people and you're already like that's like what you can do to make it. Because you got to think once you get to a certain level of wealth, what are you doing to really give yourself something more? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
if you're always chasing the next thing, but then let's say you're a billionaire, what's the next thing? Like, what do you just buy another
Yeah.
boat? Just buy another fucking whatever? Like, what do you do?
Right.
Well,
Buy
something
an
like
island.
yeah, something like this could be that next. What do you do for someone in that position? You know what I mean?
Right.
You get like just the social clout of it. You know, within these small circles of elites, like well, I can't actually be associated with you because you're not part of the Grove or Bohemian Grove or
Right.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But there is symbolism of a lot of ritualistic shit, you know, symbols of a gentleman's club deep in the woods. You know, I don't know. It definitely gives culty vibes to say the very, very, very least. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's not ever been affected by like wildfires.
That is interesting too. I wonder how well because you had that happened what Ooh, no, it was longer than that. That big wildfire up in the Pacific Northwest.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When was that? I don't know. It was within the last 5 years, right? I guess, or
I don't know.
maybe it
Yeah.
was longer than that.
But when we talk about there's a few things that I kind of gathered out of all of this research and stuff like that, and I kind of broke them up into different segments. There is supposedly, like we talked about, I kind of glossed over it, but in 1942, there's definitely a lot of people that say a lot of people met for the Manhattan Project there. A lot of people. Lot of planning on how they were going to test it, a lot of planning on what they were going to do if it worked, a lot of planning on what was going to happen if it didn't work. You know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing makes a lot of sense. It's super small, it's informal, it's among, you know, you could have military scientists there if you wanted to let them in that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have had anything. And now whether that actually happened is kind of up for debate. I mean, it's kind of hearsay, but it does make a lot of sense because that's when, like, in the phase after, like, once World War II is over, that's when you started seeing like the true corruption of government. Not saying that it wasn't there beforehand, but that's when you start to like really ramp up this like military industrial complex when we start having really shitty policies that really fuck up average working people. You know, prior to that point, I think people were just too like the country wasn't as like solidified per capita at that
Mm.
point either. Like there were a lot of like big pockets of people, but the population wasn't nearly as much as what could have been to do that sort of thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Oh, I here we go. I actually have some stats down here. I guess I should have scrolled down. The Grove owl is a 40-foot stone statue.
Stone. I mean, yeah. I assume they had to bring a stone in then,
Yeah,
like bring that in and carve it or whatever.
maybe,
Or
but
was it there? Maybe it was already there, and they're like, this
maybe,
boulder needs to be a
or
owl.
maybe it's been there all this time, already carved, just waiting for
Right.
the political elites and evil people of the country to find it. And now it's sunk its talons into their thoughts and prayers, and now they're evil, occultists,
Yeah.
Satanists, whatever.
Right. It's a demon owl.
Yeah,
If you look at its eyes, it has you. It's
it
gotcha.
does. It does. But it does loom over a small lake. Its wings are tucked, its eyes are wide open, and supposedly the eyes can be illuminated by torchlight.
Oh,
That's
you gotta
fucking
like climb
terrifying.
up there?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? You're not climbing
Are
up
you
there.
right? Are
Where are
you
you
gonna do
climbing
that?
up?
You hire a rock climber to get up there.
Well, Sarah, I'll have you know that there is one prominent rock climber that is added to the list every year. I don't know if that's true.
Really?
That's just what I'm going with.
We can say it's true because no one knows.
It's fucking true. It has to be because I don't think some geriatric fucking politician is going to climb up that motherfucker.
Yeah,
I
unless,
mean,
well, maybe they hire an archery person
or
to like
maybe they
shoot
just get
an
done sucking on that adrenochrome and they're just fucking all vibrant with energy again, and then they can just do
yeah,
whatever.
right. Maybe they learned how to levitate with their dark magic.
That's true. That's very, very possible that they're being used as conduits for evil spirits, and the evil spirits are just lifting them up for now.
Yeah. Or they're
So,
firebenders.
well,
They can shoot flame from their hand into
I
the eyes
feel
of the owl.
I feel like if you could shoot fire from your hands, you being in
I can.
politics, next thing you know, you'd see a political rally of just people just fucking catching on fire and the dude up on the
Yeah,
stage just fucking tossing fireballs left and right.
so big. Well, maybe they only have that ability on the property because of
Maybe.
the demon.
I don't know. We're doing a lot of speculating here, Sarah.
Well, there's not much to go on.
Well, that's true. But what is to go on every summer, like we said, the festival begins with that cremation of care. Everything from robes, chants to torches. And yeah, it's pretty weird. I don't know what to think
Yeah.
about that little thing. I really want to find that video now of Alex Jones going there because he is the one that actually associated it with the human sacrifice to the ancient god Moloch. So I don't know. I'm gonna find Moloch real quick because just give you a visual. He doesn't look anything like an owl, I believe, or I could be wrong. Who knows? We're about to find out. We're asking. Oh yeah, it's a bull. Yeah.
Yeah, a little different. Like the Wall Street Bull. It's all connecting. It's all connecting.
So this is people sacrificing their children to Moloch, supposedly.
Wow. Yeah,
Ye-
that's crazy.
Yep. I don't know about all that, but makes for a good story.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, what's the owl doing then?
Well, I mean, if they were sacrificing babies, owls don't have fucking hands to place them in, so that don't make no sense anyway.
No. Yeah, it's just being placed at the talons, at the feet.
Maybe. Now, the owl is not just a ceremony, though. There's some people that truly believe rumors of real human sacrifice. A lot of missing people happen in that area. Blood
That's true.
offerings under, the redwoods and stuff like that. These claims spread online in the early 2000s, hence Alex Jones releasing that bullshit. And a lot of people after that were all of a sudden eyewitness testimony, like had eyewitness testimony and were anonymous whistleblower. So that's the problem that I have with it is the second that someone's like, hey, look what I found, everyone's like, yeah, me too. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's what it felt like. So none of this has been proven. No bodies, no police reports, not even like you can't even like link missing people to it. You know what I mean? Now that being said, they are elite and they could get rid of fucking anybody. So, I mean,
Yeah. And pay off the police, the local police or whatever. Yeah.
I don't really buy that. It very well could be.
Money talks. Money can do anything.
That's very true. That's very true. But I don't know. I feel like they don't have to go to a place out in the Northern California redwood forest to do that sort of thing. I feel like they could just
Yeah.
go
They
wherever.
just get away with anything already.
Yeah. So like why this place? Why does it have to be here? So,
Yeah.
but one other thing I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper into is like what we're talking about, like the networking aspect of it. Here lately, of the alleged, list of people that you can't find. So somebody obviously has it or somebody's making it up.
Right.
Here recently, it's been predominantly bankers, politicians, media owners, and tech billionaires. So
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg,
Probably Elon Musk.
yeah,
Yeah, it's Mark and
Elon,
but they also just hang out already like too. Like
yeah,
you don't have to
yeah.
be hidden to be associated.
Well, and like I said, if they were really all meeting up under some guise of fellowship at a all man retreat, I
Right.
feel like those guys are so busy. especially guys that work in the tech field, like Musk and Zuckerberg, and I mean, those guys are
Yeah.
always working, regardless of how you feel about them personally. Like those guys are always fucking working. So when they would find time to go do even a weekend, I don't know, and why
Yeah,
they would even
especially
care.
like right. Yeah, especially the same weekend. Like they all can drop what they're doing and go at the same time. Like, I don't know.
Well,
And
but you
no internet access there?
well, they might be sick and tired of it, if we're being honest with you, as far
Yeah,
as being
maybe.
connected. So
They gotta unplug.
I don't know. There is supposedly a journalist that chose to stay silent, but not really. I couldn't find what actually happened here. I was able to find a few quotes from the alleged journalist. I don't know who this is, so this is not, I don't know. The camp among the cocktails, campfire songs, silent pack forms, we do not talk about what we see. And then the Grove's motto carved into its gates reads, Weaving spiders, come not here.
Yeah, that's what the website says.
See, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That is the creepiest fucking saying ever.
That is creepy. Like,
So
what? Why is that there? I don't know.
I don't know.
Weaving spiders come out here. What does that even mean?
Well,
If you're making your little web, if you're weaving a web, don't come here. Like, they don't want to rule the world. They're not
right.
there to,
There's a secret. But they've got us thinking they want us they all of them want to rule the world, but they just want to fuck with us, and that's just the game they're playing.
yeah,
That
right.
could be what it is. Now, here is where I think a lot of what happens here and why it happens here actually goes down. Blackmail, debauchery, and the elite playground. That is literally what I think is happening here. I don't think it's about rituals. I don't think it's about global domination. I think it's super simple. I think if you go to Bohemian Grove, it gets fucking wild. I think a bunch of old dudes in power, they're away from cameras, they're deep in the woods, they're going to drink, they're going to sing, and they're going to strip down and let loose. And then next thing you know,
Right.
some people are going to get real friendly with each other. And I
Yeah.
think they,
Drugs, like, yeah,
yeah, and I think they use it as a control thing, as a blackmail thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're, I mean, you've already seen it with guys like Epstein, where he was literally blackmailing people into getting to
right.
do what he wanted to do. You know, and for people to think that what Epstein was doing was just like him by himself, or there's no other place in the world
Yeah.
like that, there's probably tens of thousands of places like this in the world. So
Yeah.
this whole idea that like, yeah, it's simple, but I honestly think that's what this place is for. I think it's for people that are, you know, maybe not in the fold of, the political elite or even in the elite status that want to kind of get to that point. They come in there, they see some wild shit, and then someone's like, "Hey son, if you want to actually be a part of this and you want to make a lot of money and you want to be around for a long time in the job you are, this is what you got to fucking do. And if you don't fucking do it, we're gonna ruin you."
Yeah, if you don't play the game with us, then you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really what I think is happening there. I think it's just a place where people go, they do wild shit, they, blackmail each other because all these politicians and whatnot will just stab each other in the back the first second they get anyways. That's honestly what I think we're sitting at here. Are we sacrificing children and drinking adrenochrome and, worshiping Moloch? Probably not. But
Yeah. Yeah, probably not.
are we getting way too drunk, doing some drugs, getting naked and run through the woods, and then possibly putting ourselves in some weird circumstances with other men in our profession? Most likely.
Yeah. Letting off some steam.
Yeah.
That probably is. I mean, usually the simplest is the
Yeah.
answer too, so
Well, and with like the theatrical thing, the owl thing, I guarantee you, is them just being dumbasses. Like, oh yeah, look at this fucking thing. We're gonna act like we're sacrificing something. I don't think it has anything to do with actual people doing that, like
yeah.
human sacrifice. But I could be wrong. So I don't know. That's what I got for Bohemian
Yeah.
Grove.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
you
know.
got not a lot of information. I mean, the owl could have started because you said that was built like a long time
The
ago, right? So
1920s.
yeah. So 100 years ago, it could have had a meaning, and then they just, leave it there for posterity or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to it, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
and I don't trust the shaky video of a, conspiracy theorist
Right.
either. Now, who knows? Maybe he'll prove us right or prove me right, wrong, whatever, one of these days, and I'll eat my words, which is fine, but I'm not buying it as far as
Yeah.
sacrificing people and all that crazy shit.
I think you should apply to work there and then give us the scoop.
Well, I won't be able to do any scooping of and giving any of that.
If you apply to work there, you could just see what's going on.
Sarah, I am not
You're
being put in an incriminating situation by an old politician. I'm
I don't
killing
think
somebody.
they make oh my god. I don't think they make the workers run around naked too,
How do you
maybe.
know?
That's true. It could be like the weird shit that they did in the Squid Game with those, like,
That's what
human
I'm
furniture.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's
No.
true.
They're gonna
Well,
be
I
like,
can't apply. I'm a woman.
well, I'm not gonna go from, "Hey, like your military background, we'd like you to, do some security for us," and, I go down there and, do, like, 2 or 3 days of some private security for them. And next thing you know, they're like, "Hey, Jake, you're on armchair detail," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And next thing you know, I'm fucking having, like, to sit with some old dude in my lap all night. I'm good. Fuck no.
Okay, not even for the scoop.
Sarah, I will do lots of things for the scoop, but I'm not doing that for the scoop.
Yeah, we do have a long list
See, that's
that
the other
can
thing.
happen first, yeah.
That's the other thing. We've gotta travel, like, 8 places right now at a minimum.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, we
this'll
can
be
save this.
this'll be a bucket list item, okay? You and I both are still pretty young. We can get after it later
Yeah.
in life. So,
Okay.
after
Yeah,
we
when you're an old guy.
when we make our millions off of this podcast.
Right, and they invite you.
Yeah, I have
Then
to be
you
invited.
don't have to be human furniture.
Yeah, yeah. I get to someone that's human furniture. That's even better.
Right. Right, yeah, you get to be the one sitting on a human instead.
Man, no, hard pass, but
Yes.
that's all I got for Bohemian Grove. So, listeners, what do you guys think? Is there human sacrifice happening? Is it super malicious? Let us know in whatever piece of content you are interacting with this. Like, comment, subscribe. That is the name of the game. The more you interact, the better it looks for us, and we greatly appreciate every single interaction. Check us out on Patreon, the Paranoid Perspective Podcast /patreon.com for some cool little perks over there. Like I said earlier, though, easiest way, free way as well. Share this podcast with a friend. It goes so much further than you would know. And as always,
Remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.